completely big. Oh, it's in the camera. Okay, no problem.
Hi everybody. Am I live yet?
Yes.
Okay. Hi everybody. Welcome to week 5 of our lockdown cooking session. And today we are going to be making almond chicken and naan right from scratch, but a cheats way of using naan. We'll wait for a few people to join in, and in the meantime, I'll just say hi and say when this year began, I think what I absolutely hated or I was nervous about was coming live, because as you know that I speak too fast and I roll my eyes, but hopefully as the weeks are going on, I'm becoming slower. I've got something to hold on to, and I'm actually quite beginning to enjoy this. I don't know about you. So hopefully you've got all your prep ready, and I'll talk a little bit about what we are making today. I've changed the lighting, so hopefully the lighting is a lot better. It's not as glary, and especially when we cook, because last time people said the parathas looked completely white. Speaking of which, I think I'm quite pleased because out of our 5 lessons, so far we've done parathas, we've done chapatis, and we are doing naan today. So we are doing 3 different kinds of, or we will have done 3 different kinds of breads. And as you see, the process is pretty much the same, but it's the taste is completely different, and it's what you do with your imagination. So right, let me go through my list of ingredients first while other people join in, and we'll just make sure that we've got everything. So as we said, we are making almond chicken. We are using the same meat masala that we used in the first week to make our easy chicken curry, but this one will taste a little bit different. And if you're not using chicken, paneer is fine, vegetables is fine. And we are making naan, which is the cheats way of making naan. So in terms of our ingredients, we've got boneless chicken. I've got my chicken here. Hopefully you've got them cut, diced into pieces. And I've said this before, that you can use any kind of chicken. You can use chicken on the bone, without the bone. The only thing is, make sure there's no skin on it, because skin is lovely when you put it on a barbecue, but skin's got absolutely no place if you're cooking a curry, because the fat just rises up, then it's awful. Ginger garlic paste. I've got my ginger garlic paste. For those of you who've picked up kits from us, it's about half a garlic, so not half a clove, but half a garlic, and about a 1-inch piece of ginger that you just turned into a paste. 1 large onion. I've got my onion finely chopped here. Can of chopped tomatoes. We'll use about half a can. If you don't want to use a can of chopped tomatoes, you can use fresh tomatoes. Just chop it up. And I've got here a mixture. I made pasta the other day, so I've got some passata left over, so I'm just using that. So it's quite flexible. 2 dried red chilies. Here are the red chilies. Black cardamom. Now this is the one everybody asked about. What on earth are black cardamoms? And hopefully you've got the black cardamoms. It doesn't matter if you don't have black cardamoms. You can use green cardamoms as well. It's just that normally in India we use the black cardamoms. As you smell them, they're lovely and smoky, and they're fabulous because they're a lot softer than the green cardamoms. So they look like cockroaches. And then screw pine water or kera water, or the flower of pandanus. Lots of people said, what on earth is that? And then Val said, oh, can I use orange blossom flower, or can I use some other flower? It's fine, you can use some other water, but but in India we use a lot of kera water. Be very careful with it, because if you put too much of it, it turns horribly synthetic. But it's made from the pandanus flower, which obviously grows in India, and it's the essence of that which they dilute. So it's the equivalent of using orange blossom flower that they use in Morocco or Middle Eastern cooking. But it's really nice. It adds a slight aromatic flavor to it, which is nice. Fresh coriander as usual. Bread mix. We'll talk about the bread mix for our naan. Nigella seeds, and again, you don't have to have Nigella seeds. I've got Nigella seeds here because I use a lot of them, but if you don't use Nigella seeds, you can use coriander, you can just do garlic, whatever you want to put on your naan. Ghee, because as I said, I like cooking with ghee. You can use butter, or you can use oil for the curry. And that's pretty much it. And in terms of the spice mixes, there are two spice mixes we are using. One is the chicken meat masala from the kit. You should have that. And the other one is the garam masala mix that we've got. So that's pretty much all the ingredients that we've got. Yeah? Sarah, is your cake baked? I'm asking Sarah this because she's supposed to bake a cake for her birthday. And she said she wasn't going to join in. So anyway, so we are ready to go. And let's now first talk about...
Are you still live?
Yes, I am still live.
Yep.
Can everybody hear me? Connecting. Yep, I'm back again. So hopefully it's just... yep, I think I'm back again. Okay. So what we've got now is, let's talk a little bit first about this naan that everybody's got very nervous, because I got lots of questions today saying how do I make this. So if you haven't made your dough by now, I would say that let's first make the naan. Or make the naan dough. I've done mine, and for those, because I wanted to prove it, and as you can probably see, it's risen quite a lot like bread. So I started off with a teeny tiny bit, and it's risen, and it's all, you know, holes in it. So this is a bit like making bread, but this is, as I said, a complete cheats recipe. What we've done, or what I have done, is I've taken a bread mix. You can get naan mix, it's pretty much the same thing. Do we need to have a look at that connection, please? Because it keeps on saying poor connection. So I've taken a bread mix, and all we do, made it up. Sorry, yeah, I'll come back again.
Are you on TP link, or can you change your connection to whatever else is there?
No, I know, it's okay, I'm live at the moment, but you probably just got to... can you hear me, guys? I'm sorry, it just keeps on fluctuating. Yeah, okay, Sylvia's joined, so I think you can hear me. Okay, so what I've got is, I've got the bread mix, and I've turned that into dough, exactly like you would do it following the instructions. The only thing that I've changed is, instead of using water, I've used yogurt. So I've used, if for whatever instructions it says, if it says it needs, I don't know, 100 ml of water, I've put about 2/3 of that, or about 75 grams of yogurt, and the rest of that I've diluted it, and I've made it up exactly the way it is. The secret of your bread mix or your naan mix is, it's got to have some oil. So if you haven't done it, follow the instructions on your bread maker, on the bread packet. Put yogurt instead of only milk or only water, and put some oil. So put about 2 tablespoons of oil in it. And the mixture that you will have is, you know, of course mine's proven, but the idea is that your bowl has to be completely clean. So it has to be a nice soft dough, but a bit greasy, a bit like what we did for the paratha dough last week. And then leave it to proof for about, you know, in a warm place, or, you know, just switch on an oven for about 50 degrees and just shove it in for that. But otherwise also, if you just leave it near the radiator or in a warm place in the kitchen, it'll probably get ready by the time we finish. So I've already done mine. So if you haven't done yours, then I suggest mix that up and keep that aside. And if you've done it, fantastic. But again, just to recap, we've used just a normal bread mix that you get in a supermarket. Otherwise, if you're used to making bread, you put your yeast, you put your sugar, you put and you mix it up. The only difference is we've put some oil in it, and we've put yogurt in it, because that's what naan, a lot of people are surprised that naan's not vegan. It isn't, because we use yogurt in it. If you are using, you know, if you want to use vegan, make it vegan, then just put vegan yogurt in it. But it does need a little bit of yogurt for that sourness. So that's your naan mix. I've done mine, and I'm leaving that aside. Yeah? Okay, so now let's get ready with the chicken. Everybody's got all their ingredients ready. If you've got some, we are going to be using just the meat masala, but if you want, you can add a little bit of coriander powder and cumin powder if you've got it. If you haven't got it, don't stress, just the meat masala will do. So I'm going to switch this camera over, and we're going to start getting the chicken ready. So if everybody is ready with that, get all your stuff ready. If you've made your naan mix, put that aside, and let's start on the chicken. There we go, and hopefully, I'm just going to check my connection, guys. Give me 1 minute. But anyway, it's fine. It's okay now. So I put the pan on, and you can see it's a much, you know, you can see what's happening. So that's the pan there, and the hob's going to go on first. So if you put all your, now I'm cooking for 2, so I've got about, you know, half a packet of chicken in there, so about 250 grams. If you're cooking for 4, and this curry, it freezes, it also stays really well. So pan on, hot, and then your oil goes on as usual. I'm using ghee because, as I've said before, I like cooking with ghee. It gives it, we use organic ghee here. It gives a lovely nutty flavor, and it's got a very high boiling point, so it doesn't turn into saturated fat. You can use any oil, vegetable oil, rice bran oil, good oil. The only thing which I keep on saying is please don't use olive oil, because olive oil, there's a reason why olive oil is cold pressed, and you don't want, it's got a low heating point and you don't really want to heat this. So this is 1 tablespoon, so I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of ghee into it. Yeah, and this is our, and I love the bottle, you know, with the elephants on it. I resisted for so long not having, well, I put a little bit more, so that's 2.5 tablespoons. I resisted a long time not having elephants on any of our packaging, and then I think the Indian in me gave way. So that's our oil coming on. And then the first thing we will do is we will put our dry spices. For those of you who've got this, and this is tempering, or as they, in Bengali they call it poron, in Hindi they call it tadka, and that's a great way of infusing the oil with the flavors. So the oil goes on, medium heat. I'm going to put 1 chili because I don't have very much chicken, 2 bay leaves, 1 black cardamom, and a little bit of cinnamon or cassia bark. That goes on. Just let it swirl around a little bit. And what you need is, ideally you should put it when it's really hot, but if I keep quiet, you can hear it going to splutter now.
Can you use chili flakes? Not now.
Yes, you can use chili flakes if you want, but be very little, because the whole point of using a dried red chili is that it contains the heat in it. So it will leach out the flavor. If you're putting chili flakes, you're making it very hot. So if you've got a green chili, put it, but if you're putting chili flakes, use, I would say, almost a teeny tiny 1/4 teaspoon kind of amount, because you don't want it to get too hot. But you can use the chili flakes, yes, no problem. Yeah, so now I'm going to just try and cover that a little bit because it just might jump out all over. But you can see this is beginning to brown or catch color. And then the next thing which I'll do is, now we put in our onions. So I've got a big whole lot of onions here. I've got like 1 huge onion. And those of you who've come for cooking lessons, you know how big our onions are. They're about the size of coconuts. So, and again, personal preference. So finely chopped, 1 onion goes in. Now, a lot of people ask me, can we use onion paste? Yes, you can use onion paste. I don't like using onion paste simply because I find that you've got to make sure you control the heat. Onion paste can burn very quickly, or it can be undercooked. I find it easier to chop the onions really fine, because then I can control what's in it. So up to you again. So, and my heat's quite high. So that's the onions gently sauteed. And the secret of Indian cooking, as I've said before, is to make sure that everything is fried really nicely. Because if you don't fry your spices, or you don't fry your onion and ginger, you get this horrible raw taste at the back of your mouth. So let's leave that to fry nicely. And since the onions go in first, they start catching a little bit of color, or turning translucent. And the idea is the moisture dries up from here. And then the next thing which we are going to do is put the ginger garlic paste in there. If you chopped it, that's fine. So I bought these spoons of eBay, and I love them because look at them. Each of them have a different head. So this is obviously a crown. I thought they were my lockdown sort of, and they've got things written on them. So this is a teeny tiny teaspoon. So I'm putting 3 of this. So that's about 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. So let's put the whole lot in. So that's about 2 teaspoons in there. And again, and I'm going to now reduce the heat because the pan's got quite high. And because it's got moisture, it's going to splutter a little bit. So I'll just put that on. And while that's happening, you need to take out your meat masala. If you don't have our MK meat masala, no problem at all. just use, you can substitute with coriander, cumin. Don't put turmeric because you don't want this color to be really yellow, and a little bit of chili at that point. But otherwise, and if you've got some ready-made garam masala, put that. But otherwise, if you've got our meat masala, you put that. And in this, we've got coriander, cumin and things, but we've also got things like mace and nutmeg and all of it. This is, I think it's Taunton. So that's it. Okay, so again, small spoon, so let's put 2 heaped teaspoons in there. As I said, I don't have very much chicken. If you've got more, double it up. So put about a nice heaped tablespoon of it. And as I've said, Indian cooking is not about chucking a whole lot of spice. It's got to be gentle, and an almond chicken curry, as the name says, should be mild. It's not a really, really hot curry. So I'll put that in. Yeah, I'm going to increase the heat a little bit now. And you can see the spices have, fry the spices. And then the next thing which I will do now is we will add the chicken. So I'm going to put the heat up because what you want is you want the chicken pieces to be very nicely coated. You don't want the chicken to sort of broil. So the idea is heat up, get the pan to a nice heat, and this is the point at which my husband always comes in and says, your heat is too high. If you've got a heavy bottom pan, there's no problem because you do want the chicken to be nicely browned outside and seal in the flavors inside. So it's better to do it like that rather than leave it for a long time and just let it leach flavor and leach all the moisture out. So that's it. I've got, I'd say, about 350 grams of chicken. I think you've got 450, and if you're doubling it up, that's fine. So the nice thing with Indian cooking is, as I keep on saying, it's not an exact science. You can eyeball it and do it. So let's put this in. Pan's quite high. And then what you do is just let it nicely coat up. So on high heat, let the spices coat the meat. You want the moisture to dry up and this to get nicely. Let it all get coated. I'm just going to get some water in a little faster. So you can see so making sure that the meat is not pink anymore. So it turns translucent. And then once that's fried, what we will do is we will get the almonds. So hopefully everybody's got it to this stage. And the fact is, if you find that my one's cooked and I've just sped ahead of you, we're going to put it instantly on IGTV, so you'll just be half an hour behind me. But it's not rocket science. So you can see this is, and the thing is, I always prefer using high heat because it's so nice and soft. That's another new spoon. Almond powder. So this is just ground almonds, complete with the outside skin. So about a tablespoon. You can put more if you want because. And what almond does, now most people are surprised. If you buy a supermarket curry, you will always find that it contains gluten. And actually, it should not. I'm going to reduce the heat now, guys. A homemade curry will very rarely contain gluten because we use onions to thicken it, we use poppy seeds to thicken curries, we use nuts to thicken curry. So a home cooked Indian curry, very rarely do we use flour like we do in Western cooking and find that, we are using it to thicken curry. So which is why there's no gluten. So you can see the chicken is now coated, and what the almond also does is it takes away the moisture. So it's got a lovely crust. And the next thing I'm doing is my tomato puree or tomato paste. Now I'm putting a good heat, 2 teaspoons of that. Now if you didn't want to put tomato, that's also fine, because then you'll end up with a white curry, which is how you traditionally do that. But I'm just using tomato just to give it a little bit of a thing. But you don't have to use tomato at all. You know, and the nice thing about, you know, I'm just giving you a menu of options. So, and then get that. Okay. And then what we will do is, this is the point at which you can decide if you want to get, you know, how rich you want to make your curry. So if you're entertaining, you can pour some single cream into it. What I've got is a little bit of Greek yogurt, and I will just take about 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, and I've got a little bit of water. So what I'm going to do is just dilute it a bit first, because if I put it directly, the yogurt just might split. And the secret, my grandmother said that if you ever want to prevent it from splitting, put a teeny bit of gram flour or a teeny bit of flour just to prevent it splitting. But you can see I've got really nice Greek yogurt. And Greek yogurt doesn't really split. You know, if it's natural, just plain yogurt, it is fine. It will split. That now goes in here. And mix that up, and have to add on some more water. So mine, as you can see, is orange because of this tomato puree that I've put. If you haven't put tomato puree, you will probably get a lighter color. If you put cream, it will even become lighter. I'm going to put a little bit more water in this, so I'll just go and get a little bit of water. And increase the heat a bit and let it come up to a boil. Okay. Once it comes up to a boil, the chicken's almost already cooked, so we just let it simmer. So now I haven't put salt because that curry, I'm going to taste it right at the end and put salt. But as of now, I haven't put salt. So I need to bring it up to a boil, and then the garam masala powder that we have, which is the MK garam masala powder. But if you've got, you know, homemade garam masala, that's fine. Very teeny amount. Literally, this is a small spoon and it's a quarter of that. That's it. And what this does is this adds this lovely sweetness to it, because, you know, you put almonds, you've got the nuttiness. It adds a really, really nice sweetness to the curry. So that goes on. Bring it to a boil. And you can see how different this is from the first curry we made. As I said, if you didn't put tomato, it will be white in color, but this almost looks like, in India we call it butter chicken. So there. And then what I'm going to now do is I am going to cover this up, reduce the heat, and then just let it cook for some time. And if you all do that, I'll clear up this side here. I'll actually put it on to cook at the back, because I will use this front to show you how we're going to make your naans. Now for those of you who are making their naans in the oven, this is the time for you to switch on your oven at 180 degrees. I will make 2 naans to show you, but I don't have an oven here. I could have taken it back to the other kitchen and put it in the oven, but I'm going to actually make it on a pan. Which is also fine, because all you need to do it. But the naans take about 3 to 4 minutes in the oven. So you put your oven on to about 180 degrees if it's fan, otherwise 200 degrees, and keep it. This here. I'm going to move this here. So that's gone on to cook. I'm going to reduce this just to leave this for now, and that's now gently simmering away on low heat. Yeah. So I'll leave that to simmer on low heat. And we'll now attack the naan. So this, yeah, and I'm going to switch this, and then we are going to look at the naan now. So everybody clear up till now? Everybody's got their chicken ready. You've got your dough ready. So hopefully you're okay with that. Sorry, that's probably the wrong. Oh, no, this is okay. Yeah. Okay, everybody can see me? So everybody's got your chicken ready. You've got all of that done now, so we'll look at the naan. So let me just remove what I don't need, which is most of the stuff from Yeah. I didn't realize there was a plate there. Sorry. It's okay. Nothing's broken. Okay. I'm going to move this out from here. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. This whole lot out from here. Someday I'll have this lovely demo kitchen like Nigella has, and then there's no problem. We've got the screw pie in water. This is what I forgot. So you now need to add to your curry, you need to add 1 tablespoon, depends on how much you're doing. So I've had about less than 400 grams.
So Claire's a bit puzzled that you're doing it differently from the recipe you gave online to prep.
What was the recipe to prep? Tell me, Claire. What did I, tell me what am I doing differently? Let me find the recipe. Heat oil, add the onions, saute, brown, add the whole spices and chili. That's fine. We put the spices in first and then we put the whole spices in. Add the chicken, add the meat masala, garam masala, add the chili, fried chicken, fried it brown. Yep, we did. So I think the only bit that I deviated is I put the chicken, what did I put first? I just switched the spices around first, but that's okay, not a problem. You can follow that. I added almonds, tomatoes, yes. I haven't put the Keora water, which I forgot. So I'm putting the Keora water now. So if everybody clear, or have I deviated too much? Please talk to me, somebody, and tell me. Are you okay? Claire, are you okay? Yeah? Marinated chicken. Did somebody marinate chicken? Chop the chicken, marinate in yogurt, and yeah, that's fine. That's no problem. I put ginger garlic paste first. If you marinated it, sorry guys, no problem. In fact, your chicken will taste better because you marinated it. Okay, I'm putting some Keora water now, which is literally 1 tablespoon, and I'm going to put that in the chicken and leave it. Next time, remind me when I'm going off piste. But yes, no problem. If you follow what I've given you, that's also fine. No problem at all. If everybody's happy with that, is everybody okay? Are you all clear? Okay, so okay. Susan says it's all good here. Okay, so guys, I'm going to just recap on that recipe in case everybody's got completely confused to the way I've done it. So you've heated your oil. I've put spices in, but no problem. You can put the onions and salt and saute till brown. Then I said add the whole spices in. You can do that. And then fry for another minute. Add the chicken meat masala. Garam masala I added later, but you can add the garam masala in the beginning also. Add the chicken and fry till brown. Then add almonds. I think then from there I followed on. So add the almonds and add the tomatoes, which is what we did. Add Keora water, which I've just added at the end. And then garnish with fresh coriander. We haven't reached that stage. So you've got to first get the chicken to cook. The only thing which I haven't put is I put some yogurt in it. Because I didn't marinate the chicken like you did in the beginning, and I put ginger and garlic because I hadn't marinated. So your chicken should be marinated in yogurt and ginger garlic paste, so you should be fine until then. The only thing which we haven't added here is to say add a little bit of water and thin it out. Yeah? So if you're happy with that, hopefully we are back on track. But if I find I'm going off piste, just shout. I've got my very glamorous assistant who tell me you're not following the recipe, which I am guilty of. Okay, so right, so our chicken's simmering. Now we're going to look at naan. Now what I'm going to make, as I said, I'm going to do my naan on the pan. But if you're doing your naan, please put your naan, we'll do yours in the oven if you want to do it in the oven. And if you're doing it in the oven, please switch on your oven. As I said, if it's fan assisted, 180, otherwise 200 degrees, and switch it on and keep it on. If you want to wait till we finish and then just watch this bit and then watch it 20 minutes later, that's also fine. But I've put on a pan to heat up on the hob to make it hot, and then we'll now talk about how we do the naan. So let me bring the naan out, and then doing so well following all the instructions. I even got the same stuff so I wouldn't go outside, but hey ho. Okay, so I've got my rolling pin. If you've got your surface, clean your surface. And this is what my naan looks like. If you've proved yours before, that's what it's basically like doing bread. It's got a lot of moisture in it. Yeah. I've got, baking tray here just to show. So I'll put that on the side. If you only saw how big this space was, you'd be amazed. It's literally the size of a teeny tiny desk. Hope you're getting there. I've got my baking tray, and what I'm going to do is just put some foil on it. And that's the last of the foil. Put the foil on it. And then what you do is just lightly oil it. So I'm using ghee. If you've got oil, that's also fine. Just put a few drops on it. Use a kitchen towel if you don't want to use your hands. And just grease it very lightly so nothing sticks, because what you don't want is bits of foil sticking to your naan when they come out. So that's my dough. You can see it's nicely puffed up and it's great. I'm going to take my rings off because that's what happened last time, and I will tie my hair back. Just let me wipe my hands. Okay. Right, so that's your naan. It's puffed up. And I've left mine for about an hour or so. It was just lying in the room. I didn't even put it into a hot place. It just sprung up on its own. Normal bread mix if you've just joined. Done with yogurt and with some oil. So hopefully, so the thing with your naan should now be, so that's, you can see it's got all the air in it, like bread. Yeah. And I'll show you what we're going to do. So I'm going to take a nice generous portion. As I said, naan, people do them in big ovens in India. You can do it on the hob. You can do it on a tandoor. So sometimes you can put a big upside down bowl and put it on that, and it sticks off, so almost like a barbecue. Or the oven's the great way of doing it. So let me just I'll make about 2 to show you. So my naans will probably look a little bit different to yours, simply because I'm going to do it in the pan, and yours will actually be better because it will puff up beautifully in the oven. Let me cover this up. So again, if you have any dough left over, no problem. Just leave it in the fridge. Just bring it back to room temperature when you're using it tomorrow, so that you're not doing it cold and the yeast is working again. So let's get this out of the way. So I'm going to do 2. I've got a little bit of flour here, or it's actually not flour, it's actually that bread mix which I had about Susie packed for me. A little bit here, just so that, now take your thing, don't knock it too much because it's still got some air in it, and what you don't want to do is knock the air out completely. So it's very soft and fluffy. It's very soft and yes, well done, Susie. She's been the sous chef. So you can see, don't knock it too much. It's very soft. It's almost pillowy. Yeah, I'm going to put it a little bit in the flour, just a bit, very lightly. Yeah, and then the nice thing with naan is it doesn't have to be round, so you can get away. So I'm going to now roll it, and it's quite. And what we do is you roll it lengthwise, because you obviously want this, and it will keep on wanting to come back because obviously it's got the gluten's been worked on, and it will want to keep on coming back. So just force a little bit. So here you can see, here's the first one, and I'm going to put that here. Now it'll probably, you can leave it to prove a little bit, but I'll just do it a little bit more because it will spring back a bit. So I'm going to get it, drop this as well. And that I'll just put here, and let's do the second one. So if all of you want to do the second, you can make it round as well, no problem, but then at least this has a nice little naan shape. And again, I'm going to put in a little bit of flour, but not very much because you don't want floury surface. And then let's roll this, and it's quite easy to roll, but as I said, it keeps on flexing back because it's got yeast in it. So it's like trying to roll a bread. Pull it a little bit so it looks like a naan. And I put that one. So that's 2. In fact, why don't I do another one while you all are all doing it? So let's make 3, because your ones will go into the oven very quickly. Mine won't. That doesn't matter. I'll just show these here. So I'm going to do another one, just a third one, to get you guys up to speed. So yeah, everybody okay? Everybody's naans are being rolled out. So I'll just do 3 just to show you again. And if you're not rolling your naans, as soon as this finishes, you could then roll it out, because as I said, they only take 3 minutes to 4 minutes in an oven, so in a hot oven.
They can't see the rolling.
They can't see me rolling it. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it. And one, pull it a little bit. It's a bit like pizza. It's like a thin crust pizza, if you know.
Can you repeat the temperature of the oven? So
180 if you've got a fan assisted oven, 200 if not, and just put it on and leave it. It needs to go into a hot oven 3 to 4 minutes. It will fluff, it's a bit like making pita, and you'll find it fluffs up and then you bring it out. So that's my 3 roll naans that I've done. Now if you want, you can also leave this to do a second proving, but so that it gets quite big, but there's no need to actually do it, it's fine. But if you're up for it, you can roll all of them out, leave it in a warm place, and then start off. Right, so then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to now sprinkle some stuff. Now this is the bit where these are obviously plain naans. One of life's greatest pleasures is to have chapati or naan or parathas fresh off with hot butter or hot ghee. But if you want, this is when people come in and say, in the UK, people say, oh, can we have Peshawari naan? I don't think I've ever eaten a Peshawari naan in India. I have to Google it to see what it was. But if you want Peshawari naan and it's got coconut, I think, and dry fruits, you can put that in. I'm just using simple, normal Nigella seeds. If you've got sesame seeds, go in. If you are a fan of Trader Joe's like I am, there is something called Everything But the Bagel Mix, which we go through copious, even my non-cooking daughter has taken it to university and she puts it on everything from steamed broccoli to whatever else. So if you've got something like that, use that. But otherwise, as I said, I'm going to use Nigella seeds. Just check on your curry, guys, and make sure nothing is sticking. I'm just going to give my curry a little whirl to make sure it's not sticking, which it isn't. It's looking quite good. Okay, my pan is quite hot. This is rolled out. Let me find the Nigella seeds, which I seem to have lost. Yes, here they are. So if you want coriander, you can put coriander. I've got some chopped coriander here. I'll show you. Maybe you'll do one with coriander. If you like chili, you can put chili. So I'm going to take a little bit of Nigella seeds, just a teeny bit, put it on top like that, and press it in. If you want to put coriander on top of it, you can do that as well and have coriander. If you want to put onion, you can do that as well. So let's do 2 with Nigella seeds. Or as I said, poppy seeds, coriander, whatever you want to put. You want to put garlic, you can put, little bits of garlic as well. Here you go. Yeah, everybody can see that. Does Nigella seed, does Mandira use, does Nigella use Mandira seeds? I hope so. Fame at last. Okay, so I'm going to switch that now, guys, and I'll show you what I'm doing with my naans with the pan. You've got your naans, as I said, you can put them in the oven, you can put them in 2 rows, but if you want to have the first one, and then once this is over, go and do the next slot, and then just have hot naans in the meantime, that's also fine. So that's there. Let me switch the camera across, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. Poor connection. Okay, I think I'm back on again. So that's my pan. I'm going to increase that a bit. I've got asbestos hand, so it's quite a hot pan. It's got nothing in it, no oil, nothing, guys. And if you want to see the curry, there it is, nice. It's gently simmering away, the almond curry. I will taste it in a bit, but yeah. Let's get the naans out. And at this point, this is where you take your tray of naans and you shove it in the oven and you watch it slowly come up. And it will look like pita, it will look like naan, whatever. Why should it look like pita bread? It will look like naan. But as I said, I'm doing a little bit of a Heath Robinson trick in here because I don't have an oven in here. There, and so let's take this first one. So I'm going to take this first one on with the Nigella seed on it. Face down, goes down. Yeah. And let's see what happens. It will take about 2-3 minutes on each side. So that's happening. I'll find that plate that I dropped, and I need that in a minute. So,
How long in the oven?
how long in the oven? Well, depends on your oven, but not more than 3-4 minutes. You'll see it'll start browning and puffing up. So 3-4, maximum 5 minutes, but not very long in the oven, please, guys. Otherwise, it'll. So you see, this is about 3 minutes on each side. But you will see, I'm not lifting, but already it's come off, and already you can see these little spots on them. Can you see the spots? Is the light better this time? Or is it all looking white? Yeah, can you all see the spots, people?
No.
No?
At least I can't. not
You
honest.
can't. You see the
Yes,
spots?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. And you can see it's fluffing up. So it's going to be about 3 minutes on each side. I'm going to turn it over now. You need it to cook because obviously it's quite fluffy. So high heat needs to cook. And it'll slowly get spots and it will cook up. I'm going to increase the heat for my chicken as well because my chicken's actually cooked by now. And as I said, how do you know when a curry is done? The oil comes to the top. The oils actually come to the top. Now it's a question of how thick I want it. So I do, because I'm going to eat it with naan, I don't want it very thin. So I'm just going to thicken it a bit. Yeah. I'll first get a spoon and taste it and see if it needs anything. Yeah, my curry is actually quite good. It doesn't need anything else. It's quite perfect. Right. You see the naan? I've left it. Can you see the spots now, guys? Yeah? So press it down a bit because you want it cooked. But it just comes up on its own. And you can see it's fluffing. So what's happening, I'm doing it in a pan. In the oven, yours will actually come out like that. Oh, see, it's fluffed up. Can you see it's fluffed up? Yeah? And that's exactly what yours will do in the oven. It will fluff up, see?
Too long, otherwise it will become popular.
No, it won't because it's a long way for becoming popular. It's got to have 3 minutes on each side on the pan. In the oven, it's got to be like 3-4 minutes. But once it puffs up, you know it's done. So that's the first naan done. I'm going to take it off for a minute. And then I'll put the second one on. So you can see it's completely puffed up. It looks like a pillow. Yeah. And once it's puffed up, you know the inside's not stodgy anymore. It's cooked. Yeah. So I'm going to take this one off. And then I'll put the coriander one just for you guys. So that's the coriander one. Obviously, you don't have to do it this painstaking way. My curry is now ready to come off. So my curry is actually done. So while that's happening, I'm going to bring my naan. I'm going to move the camera and I'm going to show you what we are doing with the naan. There's my naan that goes on the plate, and this is the point where, as I said, this is one of life's greatest pleasures, is to get a small spoon, put some butter or ghee at the end of it, and then just put it on that. Like that. Of course, yours are all going to come out at the same time. So that's quite good. My curry is ready. I'm going to transfer the curry, but I'm keeping an eye on my other naan, which is fluffing up as well, and I will show it to you once that happens. So let me just take this off and show this to you for a minute. So you can see that this has got brown spots like that. So that's the second one. So it's cooking on that, and I'm just going to now transfer some curry out in a bowl that we're going to be serving. Let's do it on a smaller bowl so that it's okay. We'll do it in one of these insulated bowls, which I quite love. This is the new range of cookware that we've got with that we are absolutely loving. When you take the chicken out, make sure you leave your cinnamon bits, or you take out that and throw your bay leaves, your cinnamon, and all of that, because those have done their job. Those have flavored the curry. You don't really need to have that anymore. And there's nothing worse than having a huge bit of black cardamom in your mouth. You know, it puts people off curry for their lives. I'm taking out the chili, or I'm putting the chili in here because I want you to be able to see the chili. The chili is there. And then I had some coriander, which is here. So we're going to put some coriander on top of this. If you've got salad, I know Val's doing Bombay potatoes. I'm just waiting for my second naan to come up. I know Val's doing Bombay potatoes. So you can see there's the naan, there's your chicken coming, there's your chicken or vegetable or paneer or whatever you're doing. And let my naan come up a little bit, and then I'll bring that, and then you can see it. But it will fluff up on its own. So you see, I did it on a pan. The oven is much easier. But are there any questions, guys? Do you have any questions while I'm waiting to show you my second naan and just the coriander naan? And was that easy? This looks great. Okay, I'm going to taste some of it. So let's see what it is. Yeah. Even though I say so myself. And this is, as I said, this is one of life's pillowy naan. This is one of life's pleasures. Now I'm going to open this up and you can see the inside. Can you see the inside, guys? Can you see how it is? It's sort of, it's cooked, but it's lovely and pillowy, and it's almost coming across in layers. And then what you actually now need to do is take the bit with the butter, dip it in the curry. That is actually quite extraordinary, even though I say so myself. Okay, I'm going to shut this off. Get the second naan out, which is here. Put some ghee on it. The little pan came out with the ghee. And I'm putting my third naan on while I'm talking to you. The rest of them I'm going to obviously do in the oven. So here you can see I've just put the ghee on this one using the back of a spoon. So the ghee just melts on it. And again, let me show you this. If you open this, you can see. And it's almost like a pocket, you can see. Yeah, that's it. And it's soft and it's, it's pillowy. But what you've got to make sure when you press it, it shouldn't turn into dough, because that means it's not cooked. But if it's sort of, it's got to hold its thing, but it's got to be really soft. And that's, that's one of the good things about naan. Okay, I'm going to put the third naan on here. And while that's cooking, any questions, guys? First tell me, was that easy? And do you have any other questions on this? I know, and I'll tell you what we're doing next week. Was that useful? Everyone says looks amazing, smells lovely in our kitchen. Fab, Sue. Make sure Jace does the naans after this, and you can put your feet up and have a drink. So I'm actually quite proud that for something that started like this, we've made 3 sorts of bread, and as you can see, this is quite similar to the paratha. This has got yeast in it. It's a different shape, a different texture. Before that we did chapatis, which is whole meal. Next week I think we are doing egg curry, which is my absolute favorite, and I have a friend called Craig, and I always think that whenever I make egg curry I think of Craig. So we're going to have hard-boiled eggs ready. The instructions are all there, and we're going to do brown rice, but we're actually not doing brown rice, we're turning white rice brown. So that's your chicken. Mine, as I said, yours might be a different color if you haven't put tomato in it.
Christine would like an elephant bottle, please.
She would like an elephant bottle of ghee, or just an elephant bottle. Yeah, I'll keep an elephant bottle ready for you. I mean, they've got elephants all over, Christine. Look at this. And have you guys, okay, let me just show off. Have you seen our new kettles? Look at these. So we're doing these especially for Mother's Day, but aren't they cool? You can actually pour tea in them. So they're great for masala chai. The inside is a proper kettle. Each one's been hand painted and each one's been hand decorated. So that's that. And then you obviously have your cutting chai glass. So that's my little treat, which is great. Okay, so that's your naan and your chicken done, or your vegetable done. That's your dinner ready. Have some salad, have some yogurt, and that's sorted. This will also keep tomorrow. If you've got leftover dough, just keep it. But that's a cheats way of making naan using bread mix, and it's worked wonderfully. So thank you, Sue, for going and getting me the bread mix. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Next week, as I said, we are doing egg curry and rice, which will be another fun one. And as soon as this finishes, I'm going to put it back. I'm going to put it on IGTV, so you don't have to watch, you can fast forward the bits that you want, and you don't have to go through all of it. So thank you very much. Have a lovely evening, and we'll see you next Thursday. Bye.